Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Hi.
Jane. Hi, John
Hi,
Brown.
Cheryl. I miss you.
Hi, John Brown. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, John Brown. Hi, everyone. It's Better Reading B.
You
We're
know,
here to talk about all
Jane,
of our
he doesn't really
inspiring
like
titles, but John Brown's making a bit of an, well, I
He
think
doesn't
Cheryl's
really-
being a stage mother.
he doesn't want to be here. Say hello and then goodbye to everybody. Okay. Say hello and then say goodbye.
Say hello, John Brown. Oh, he doesn't have very good manners, does he?
He doesn't. They're things I've yet to teach him. Hello, everybody. It's Cheryl Arkle.
And Jane Tara.
And that was John Brown, and he's really not interested in what we're in Facebook Live. He's not interesting at all. Hi, Christy. Yes, John Brown's gone. He's already, he's curled up on the bed behind me. Danielle says, oh my God, he's so cute. He really is so cute. And can I tell you, he is a bit, he gets a bit of stage fright, but also he's 15.
He's very feisty for an old guy.
Yeah. He doesn't like being handled so much. Welcome, everyone. Cheryl Arkle, Jane Tara. This is our B segment, not to confuse it with, Natalie says, hi, John Brown. Hi, Natalie. Not to confuse it with what are you reading, because we had our special guest, what are you reading? We had Brendan Cowell last week, and thank you, everybody, for being so lovely to him and for participating in that. But this is Better Reading B, so this is books that make you what, Jane?
Be well, be okay, be
right.
inspired, be, self-development, self-help, and inspiring memoirs. But, without all the woo-woo, without the angel cards. So let's get serious about what we need in life to make our, to feel better. And usually that's kind of well-researched material on different subjects. So that's what we look for.
Absolutely. Well, we've got our lovely regulars, and we've got lots of other people. So Nicole says hi, Natalie says hi, and Natalie says hi to John Brown. Christine says hello, Cheryl and Jane. Craig is not Craig, it's Carleen here. Hi, Carleen. Louise says hi, everyone. Looking forward to be inspired, Jane. Yes, well, you are going to get inspiration from Jane. You might get a tiny little bit of cynicism from Cheryl, but mainly
I love that, but I do love the fact that I keep, we organise these podcasts with the B authors for you, and, you keep saying that you're a cynic, and after every single one you call me and you go, wow, that was interesting.
I do, and absolutely, because you know why? I'm always open to learning.
Yeah, true. Yeah, not to meditation, but to learning. Yeah.
I like to see people meditate, even though I'm not going to do it myself. Okay. Anne. Oh, hi, Anne. Anne's my neighbour. Carolyn. Hi, Cheryl and Jane. Sally Ann. Hi, everyone. I'm reading for inspiration. Fantastic. Good. Oh, she's ready for inspiration. And Alita says, hi, Jane and Cheryl. So do you want me to start, or are you going to start?
Well, I'd really like to look, I'll start with one, and then I really want to hear how you're going. Because when you're talking about B books, it's not really always self-development, self-help books. It's what's making you feel better in your life at the moment,
Yeah, okay.
So I'll start with that. I just had this in the mail, and, I'm a big traveler, and I spent years traveling. I lived out of a suitcase. But, of course, the whole of COVID, I just haven't even thought about travel. I can't think about travel at all. And now we sort of see this light at the end of the tunnel. And so I've actually really enjoyed, last night I sat down with a drink and I read this book cover to cover. And it's kind of a photographic book of a couple going around Australia. There we go, in their combi van.
Yeah, the Nullarbor, yeah.
With their rescue dog. So they show, she wrote and took the photos, and it's a dog-friendly trip, which I'd have to do because I have a dog. So, it's just like you're dreaming of things outside the home again. So this is around Australia at 80 Ks. And I just spent a couple of hours just really savouring that, enjoying just travelling again, which I haven't even been thinking of. So, so that's one thing that has helped me, during lockdown in the last week. What about you?
Well, I'd like to borrow that book, Jane, because I think that's something I'd like to look through. I mean, that's something I've always dreamt of doing as well.
Yeah.
Is doing that around Australia, but also doing it around the US.
Yeah.
Maybe not now. I need to wait for all those hard right wingers to settle down a little bit. But, you know, in the next couple of years, I'd love to do that. Natalie Burke, who we love, has just said, I love memoirs and autobiographies and biographies which can also be just as useful and inspiring as woo-woo books. Natalie,
Totally agree. Yeah.
Totally agree,
Yeah,
Natalie.
totally agree. In fact, it's been memoirs at different points in my life that have changed my life, I think. Yeah.
Christine just finished The Other Side of Beautiful and now reading Cutter's End. Okay, so I'm going to, firstly, I want to tell you about how I think lockdown has changed my life.
Yeah.
Now, you all know I love cooking. And for those of you that watch me on Instagram, you'll know. But a friend of mine, so this book is from Simon & Schuster, and my friend Kay gave it to me. It is a huge, I'm going to just show you how big that book is.
Yeah.
And do you know, I have read it front to back during COVID. It's an American book, but there are some recipes from bakers down in Melbourne. And I've always been a cook that has liked cooking, but I have never really been a baker. The only thing I could ever make was cream caramel. And people that have come to my place know that, because every time they come over, it was cream caramel for dessert.
Didn't you feed Nigella cream caramel?
I did, yeah. I made Nigella cream caramel because even as recently as then, 3 years ago, I couldn't bake, right?
Yeah.
So then I started making bread pre-COVID, and then, but it really, really
and
helped
I can vouch for your bread.
Yeah, and it really helped me in COVID. But then I started to do pastry and making tarts and making pies. And I truly believe that if I hadn't had this lockdown period, especially the last couple of months, I wouldn't have been able to get my skill set to where it is now. So now if you ask me to make something sweet, I could make any of it. And
well, when we're back in the office, I'll be asking that a lot.
But also, I really learnt by reading baking books and by practicing. I don't get me wrong, I got a lot wrong, but then I got a lot right. And one of the things that I've mastered that I love the most is a custard tart, because, I just love custard. And my pastry was always coming out thick and soggy. But, just through reading and learning and practicing, and because I've been home 7 nights a week or, home 7 days a week.
And not cooking for other people, because normally you're cooking for other people. So you've had the space to do this. Yeah.
So, so that's what it's done for me. So, a book like this has been kind of my Bible. It just sits on my coffee table and I pick it up and read it so frequently. But also it's really special because it's not just recipes, it's stories of the particular bakery and them giving you a recipe. So there's a lot of story in it. So that's why it's so wonderful to read. But anyway.
Oh, that's great.
Can I talk about this book that I have absolutely loved? I know I talked about this a little bit on What Are You Reading? I'm just going to hold it up. Do you know, this is Ruby Jones, and she's from New Zealand. And when that terrible act of violence happened in New Zealand, she put this beautiful illustration up. I'm going to show it to you, up on her Facebook page. Can you see it?
Yeah.
And the words, and every time I read it, I get goosebumps. The words below it is, this is your home and you should have been safe here. And we shared that with everyone on Facebook and got the same response. Well, this is a little collection of all of her recent work. Oh, Jane, it's so lovely. Have you got yourself?
You know what? You raved about it so much over the phone to me.
Oh, there you go. You've got it. It.
It's beautiful. I'm giving it to someone as a gift, actually. Yeah.
I've really loved it. So it's things like that pop into your life at those times, because she didn't put that book out for COVID. She just, that book just happened to come out and I got myself a copy. Now, Carlene says, I like books with adventure and romance. Lisa said, oh, my God, you're making me hungry. She's talking about the pastry and the baking. Lisa, I would love to cook for all of you. Wouldn't that be fantastic if we could do that? Natalie, Cheryl, you need to buy the Cook and the Baker cookbook. It's fabulous. Have you been to the bakery in Bondi? Natalie, have I got a story for you? Of course, I have the Cook and Baker cookbook because Tassie and Cherie, who started the Cook and Baker, are friends of mine. Tassie is a dear friend of mine. I have known him for years and years, and they started that bakery. And guess who their agent was? Wow. So I do have a signed copy. It's such a good cookbook. And do you know, Natalie, I picked it up the other day. Also, they cooked for my 50th birthday when I had it out in the park. So they did the cooking, Tassie and Cherie. And I want to make those little donuts with the cream anglaise custard inside. Tell me what you've made, Natalie, out of that book. But yes,
Can
I
you
do
make
know.
them when we're back in the office?
Yes, I can.
I'll just write a list. Hold on a minute.
Harley's been trying HelloFresh. Well, that's good. I mean, it's good to vary it up in lockdown. Joanne, so good to see you both. Yes, good to see all of you. Sally Ann, I made an apple impossible pie a couple of days ago. You would love to try it, Cheryl. I will. Sally Ann, I am definitely going to have a go, and I will come back to you on that one. Lisa, amazing. We would love to for you to bake for us. Yeah, wouldn't that be good if we can do it one day?
Cool.
All right, what else have you got there, Jane?
Well, I have to rave about this. And Natalie, I think maybe you'll like this one. Charlotte Wood, the Luminous Solution. Now, I'm going to talk about this over the next month. We'll review it. It'll go up on the site in the next 24 hours probably. It's about having a rich inner life and creativity. So creativity, resilience, and the inner life. And it's turn that off. It is. I mean, anyone who knows Charlotte Wood, loves her writing.
I've got a Charlotte Wood story.
I know your Charlotte Wood story, but you have to share it with everyone else. But maybe you can share with the person just how beautiful this book is, because it is so gorgeously written with chapters like, I loved this particular chapter, in praise of unruly artists. That we have to have the unruly artists in the world, those people who shake things up a little bit. The rapture, nature and the artist. This is one of those books, a little bit like Phosphorescence or maybe Nikki Gammel's Dissolve, where you kind of drift into this absolutely elegant, beautiful writing, and it's about your own inner life as well as theirs, what they're sharing. So in this, so Charlotte's sharing a lot about creativity here and resilience and things, but it's so relatable to you. I think this is just one of the most stunning books that's come out this year.
Every book she writes is a bestseller, Jane. Sorry to interrupt. What was her last book called? That was on the best.
I wrote it this morning.
Anyway, somebody else will help it.
Put it in.
Yeah, somebody will help us
Someone
with that. She's a wonderful writer.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. But every morning.
Yeah, so every morning I walk in the park, as you all know, with my dog, and not every morning, but most mornings I see Charlotte Wood's husband out there and exercising, and we always pass each other by. Can I just say they probably don't exercise as hard as I do when I'm in the park, but that's okay. And you know what I see them doing at the end of it is going to get themselves a nice coffee, and we always have a lovely chat. He hangs art.
Yeah,
that's
right.
His job. Yeah. Really nice guy. Anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Natalie says, oh, you lucky thing. This is about the cook and the baker. My son and I visited a few years ago on a trip and walked those hills. I won't use the naughty word. And ate those yummy custard and cream donuts. You know what I'm talking about. How wonderful to have them cater for your birthday. It was truly wonderful. And Tassie's, they've since sold up, actually. Somebody else owns it. And Tassie's now gone back to New Zealand, which is his home, and he's making beautiful pottery. He's doing artwork. Anyway, Natalie also says, thank you, Jane. I'll look into that one, the Charlotte Wood. Melissa says, hi. Alison, I'm a bit unruly. Trying to be an artist looks like it's on my list. This is the Charlotte Wood. Emma, Charlotte Wood's previous book, The Weekend. Thank you, Emma. That is exactly what it was. Sold so well.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Marge, that sounds like a great book. Love Charlotte Wood's book, Weekend. Thank you. Can't remember the correct title. I think it was called The Weekend. So thank you to both. Now, I've got another book that I want to talk about. You can see where my head is at the moment. Do you know him? It's a guy called Charlie Maxie. And it is wonderful. I mean, again, I have really enjoyed his illustrations through. So the book that you dip in and dip out of. Look at that. So beautiful. And one of your greatest freedoms is how we react to things. Isn't that beautiful? And it's so wise. Do you know, I often think cartoonists and illustrators, they're not just talented, they're really smart, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. You sit there and it can be very profound. Like, you know, a very simple illustration with, you know, a few words can just really shift things for you. Yeah.
How simple that is.
Yeah.
And all it says is be curious.
Yeah, right.
That's it. That's it. So they're the books that have given me solace over this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell you what, there's 2 to 3 weeks to go before I can have somebody over. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's going to be really big for you. It's 2 to 3 weeks until I can throw everyone out of my house.
We've got a different approach.
Yeah. Well, I've got a few more just to shout out. This I've come across this. I haven't read it yet, but it's on my pile to read. It's called Whole Notes: Life Lessons Through Music.
So
And
I've read it.
Amazing. And of course, you know how music is so important to my family. My son is a musician, and you know, throughout both lockdowns, all I've heard in that front room, and he's a professional musician, I've just heard the most exquisite blues guitar. You know, and it really is just so, I just love music. So this is all about, you know, looking at life lessons like resilience, like knowledge, and I guess sort of taking Alan Watts, the philosopher, always said that, you know, life, it's not a destination, it's not a journey and we've got a destination. It's music, you know, and it's like the dance isn't about getting to a certain spot. It's dancing there in that moment. And I think there's kind of a similar sort of take on this book. So I'm looking forward to reading it. I think, you know.
I think, is that Ed Ayres who used to work at the ABC?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Because I'm not, I love classical music, but I don't know a lot about it. And Ed, I don't know if Ed still got that show on ABC, but there was a music show.
Yes.
And I just was so guided by what he was doing on that. And then recently, pre-COVID, I met Ed at a writers' festival. And I was like stoked because I had listened to that program for so long. Loved it.
Yeah. Oh, he might
I never really
might look into that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we could do a podcast with Ed. That would be fantastic. And Ed's got a beautiful voice as well.
Yeah, right. It does say he still does classic weekend breakfast.
Oh, okay. There you go. Natalie's giving me a recommendation. Another good baking book is Philippa's Home Baking. She's a famous baker. Now, I know that, Natalie, because every time I go to Melbourne, I buy Philippa's nuts and Philippa's savoury cheese crackers that I just adore. But I don't have the cookbook, and I did meet Philippa once, but thank you for the tip. Carlene says that Carlene loves art, painting, drawing, etc. is her thing.
That's what Melissa, my mum has been doing, actually. Yeah.
Melissa said the most beautiful sayings in that book, and I think Melissa is referring to this beautiful book because they really are. And Natalie, how wonderful to you, Jane, that your son has been able to turn his passion into his profession. It is wonderful, isn't it? He's so talented. Donna says the boy, the mole, the fox, and the horse is along the same lines as Charlie Brown and Winnie the Pooh. Love them all. Doesn't matter what age you are. Again, that's this beautiful book. Yeah. Louise, Cheryl, talking about classical music, my fondest memories is coming home from school to hear Mum playing classical music records, piano mainly. Oh, isn't that lovely?
That's beautiful. Yeah, wow, what a great memory. Yeah.
It is a great memory. Okay, is that it for now?
All right, well, just a couple to throw us out. There's this one, 10 Times Happier, if anyone's interested. I don't know whether you'd be 10 times happier reading it, but certainly it does give you some really interesting tools. The author is Owen O'Kane, and he is a psychotherapist working in physical and mental health for 25 years. And so he breaks down the areas where all people are unhappy in their life, and it can be kind of categorized into 10 areas. And then he breaks those down into kind of a toolkit, giving you really practical guidance of looking at your life, seeing where your struggles are, and then how really practical ways to address them. I found this to be sort of the way that it's laid out and written is simple and actually, I think, really effective. And then last two for Cheryl, both meditation books.
Oh,
well, people have been asking here in the comments, they've been asking about how to meditate and everything. And I thought this little one here, Minute Meditations, and inside it's just a beautifully presented little gift book. There are 5, 10 or 20-minute meditations. And it outlines how to actually just sit for 5, 10 or 20 minutes. And then this one is a little bit sort of, it's a bigger book here, but it goes into improved physical and mental well-being, greater presence, enhanced self-awareness. And this is Dr. Patricia Collard, and she's written a few books in this area. And this is about mindfulness and how to incorporate mindfulness into your life. Cheryl, I'll bring those books over with you. Do anyway, so you do. You do a lot. So
I think I do it. I just don't do it in a formalized label fashion. But
no,
yes,
that's
I
right.
do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We better let these lovely people go. We've been on for a while.
So nice seeing everyone, isn't it?
I really do love. I love reading comments. And I enjoy seeing the same people come back. Love it. And I love the fact that I think I know all these people, like Natalie. I think I've known Natalie for years. Well, all of you, actually.
Yeah.
Now, Alison says, thank you, ladies. Always lovely to hear and see you when we can. Yes. And Melissa said, great books there, Jane. Well, Melissa might be a meditator like yourself.
I'll take a little photo of a pile so everyone can see them.
Yes. And thank you for joining us. This is always Jane's segment. She does a wonderful job.
I love having you here because, I mean, I miss seeing you in the office, but also it's a nice balance. You don't just need some kind of beaner telling you what to read.
No, that's right. So goodbye, everybody. Take care. Listen, it'll be me It'll be me this Thursday doing What Are You Reading? So I will see everybody Thursday at 2:00. And Jane's going to do What Are You Reading in the coming weeks too.
Yeah, I think we've got a guest, and then I will go into the office for it. I think we've got a bit more freedom coming up, so I can get in there. Yeah.
Melissa said she's not a meditator, but she would like to know about meditation. Thank you, Melissa. You're a bit like me. Always learning. Okay. See you. Bye, everyone.